Welcome to Direction Northeast. Hello, I'm Kacy Craddock. This program is a presentation of the Communications Department at Northeast State Community College. Computers dominate today's society, but as they have taken over, they have created many concerns about security and privacy. From criminal activities to international intrigue, cybersecurity is something everyone should be concerned with. We will return in just a moment to discuss cybersecurity in the millennium age.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm a wife, a mother, and a student pursuing my dreams.
I came back to school with a passion to help people.
Came back to Northeast State to study electromechanical because I like working with my hands.
To be a producer.
At 64, I'm a student and an entrepreneur.
Wherever you are and whenever you're going, we are here to get you there at Northeast State.
Our guest today is Dr. Donna Farrell and Mr. Allan Anderson, both members of the Computer Department at Northeast State Community College. Welcome to Direction Northeast, guys.
Thanks for having us.
So, what is cybersecurity, like a general?
Overall, in a nutshell, is protecting your privacy online and your data that's online around the world.
Okay, and why is this sort of thing important? It sounds important, so why is it?
Well, I think it's very important. You've probably heard of identity theft, and that's probably one of the biggest things that folks who come out as cyber hackers will be looking for: credit cards, your personal information, things of that nature, so that they can pretend to be you and then use your credentials to do things that are malicious.
Okay, are there different types of cyber, I guess you could say, breaches? Are there different types of them, and if so, what are they?
Yes, there are. There's the identity theft, where they get your personal information and impersonate you. The ATM scams, get your banking account information, where they drain your banking account. The phishing attacks for email, for installing malware inside of a company or an organization. And those are just some of the more common ones you hear about all the time.
Mm-hmm. Are there a lot of job opportunities for this kind of thing?
The last number I saw was about 500,000 jobs, and just in the U.S. alone, for cybersecurity, cyber defense.
And it looks like by the year 2020, we won't have enough skilled individuals to actually fill those jobs. So cybersecurity is something that a lot of students, whether they're interested in computer science right now or not, they should at least take a peek into. It might be something that interests them, and the jobs will be out there for them. Don't you think, Allan?
I think so, because there's the job demand. I was talking to the HR person for the city of Bristol yesterday, and they're getting ready to gear up big time for cybersecurity, cyber defense for the city of Bristol.
And these jobs can be in all areas. I mean, even places like Disney World need cyber scientists. Banks need them. The government needs them. Utility grids, hospitals. Those jobs can be found almost anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Would you guys suggest to someone that's going into computer science, majoring in that kind of thing, to go into cybersecurity?
I encourage them, because that's job security for me, because I primarily teach the cyber defense classes here, and cybersecurity classes. So I encourage them. So plus it's a good field. It's considered a clean job, so you're not getting dirty, crawling around the floors and attics and what have you, running cables. Mm-hmm. So I try to encourage that.
And we want to encourage young ladies to come into the cybersecurity field as well. They're a minority in most computer science classrooms across the nation, and they often will excel in any of the computer science curriculum. So we want to encourage them to come and talk to us.
Oh yeah. Well, I got four young ladies now that are exceptional in cyber defense. In fact, they're better at some things than I am, because their critical thinking skills are much better, because they come in no preconceived ideas. I know how to do this, so they're willing to learn.
And if you have a team of male and female individuals, they can often think outside the box or look at things a little bit differently, and they collaborate very well together and come up with some really interesting solutions to problems.
I know that you were in the service, you were in the Air Force. Yes. Is that kind of where you got your interest in this kind of thing? Or?
When I went in the service, the computers wasn't around at the time. They started to come in late 70s, early 80s, and that's when I just picked up a computer and had a knack for it. I was making a computer do things people said they couldn't do. And cyber defense, cybersecurity at the time wasn't really a big issue. Security was, but we weren't really networked together at the time. But so after I got out of service, and saw opportunity for cyber defense through other community colleges and through the FBI InfraGard chapter down in Knoxville, got real interested in it and have a fairly well knack for it too. So.
Okay. And like, when did you find your true interest in this field?
I worked in industry for almost 20 years, and over those 20 years I did everything from help desk, doing IT infrastructure, some cybersecurity with Cisco devices, and then some programming as well. So I had my toes in a lot of different areas, and then I was fortunate enough to come to Northeast State Community College, and I get to teach here.
Oh, yeah. Is it important to have like a big background in this kind of thing if you want to go into cybersecurity?
It helps. This computer science, like any field anymore, is getting real specialized. Used to be just a general doctor. Now you got specialized surgeons and what have you. So computer science is getting that way. We got programmers. That's all they do is program. At one time, computer science people did help desk, program, networking, everything. But now it's getting real specialized in certain areas, and you pick up the skills for that one area, and you're lacking in the other areas.
And along with cybersecurity that we have in our curriculums, we have networking as well. And when you put those two together, you can use the devices that we teach for Cisco and CCNA 1 and 2, do some labs with cybersecurity, and then you have a really nice profession that you can get into career-wise, because then you have a little bit of networking information, that kind of background and experience. Put that with cyber, that offers or opens the job market up even more to you.
And that makes a good combination of cyber defense is mainly securing your network. So if you need some networking background. So we try to encourage cyber defense students to do networking concentration, and the networking students, but I'm trying to encourage them to pick up the cyber defense. So better job opportunities for both ways for them.
Yeah. Okay. In you guys' opinion, what's like the best way to protect yourself from a cyber attack?
Common sense.
Definitely. Don't put your password under your keypad or your mouse pad, for example. And don't share it with everybody. That's the first thing you can do. You'll notice that banks will want you to put a password in that has uppercase, lowercase, special characters, numbers. And there's a reason for that. It's more difficult to crack that password than if you put your dog's name, for example.
Yeah.
Like my password for the InfraGard chapter, it's 18 characters long with uppercase, special characters, lowercase, numbers. It's hard to remember. So if you're going to have complicated passwords, which is encouraged, get you a good password manager. There's a lot of them out there. There's some free ones and there's some paid ones. So get you a good password manager. Keep track of all your passwords. Don't write them down. Put them in that secret place where everybody knows where the secret place is.
Certainly.
Underneath your keyboard.
And don't think that any phone call or email you get is value. For example, you'll get phone calls. We've seen this happen in Sullivan County and Washington County from folks who are pretending to be the IRS. They want your personal information. Don't give it to them. They're not going to call you. Emails you get, take the time to look and see if that URL that it's coming from, if there's a link that looks awkward. Maybe if it's from Microsoft might be spelled incorrectly. That should be something that would flag you immediately. If you don't know who it's from and it has an attachment, don't open that attachment.
I just got an email yesterday in my personal email said my credit card is going to be charged $14,000 if I don't take care of this now. Well, I was on a computer that I can open up and don't have to worry about infecting it, and opened up the attachment, the password protected, and macros enabled in a Word document. And as soon as I enabled it, and that computer got infected and installed a back door and what have you. And fortunately, I was on a virtual machine, so virtual machines we use a lot in cyber for learning. I just deleted that virtual machine, and that was on my actual computer. That computer would have been infected. All the other computers attached to the network would have been infected. So
don't be
click on links
trusting.
and emails, just
Right.
click on them.
Don't be trusting of those things, because there are so many people that don't have your best interests in mind. They want to get your personal information and your credit card information. With credit card information, if you're shopping, for example, if you're one of those folks that like to stay home and shop on the internet, make sure that you are shopping from secure sites.
And you can determine the secure site by looking up the address bar, seeing HTTPS. If it does not say HTTPS, then usually a lot of times there's a green button up there now for a secure site, and if it's not there, don't enter your personal information.
You can also look for like the golden box with the check mark in it for VeriSign. Some of those will show you that it's a secure site, but the HTTPS is
It's
one that you
guaranteed to be
certainly
there
want to
every
look for.
time.
I was just going to ask if you guys had had any like experience with a security breach, or any like suspicious emails or messages or phone calls or anything like that.
We get them in our email all the time. Some from another school, or supposedly looks like from another school. We're upgrading your Outlook account. Click here to enter your information. Well, it's not from Northeast. It's from Timbuktu School. And I said, wait a minute, I don't have an account at Timbuktu School. Why do I need to update my account there? So read stuff that makes, if it doesn't make sense, check it out.
Exactly.
Or ask somebody.
So if you get something in your Northeast email and it says, hey, we need you to click here and put in your information for your account, make sure it's coming from Northeast. Look at who it's coming from, what they want you to do. If there's a link, make sure it's something that you've seen before. And that'll keep you safer, as well as help the IT department here at Northeast from having to deal with some issues that may be caused if you click on those links.
Like if you're not sure, ask somebody that has knowledge of it. For here, our IT department, or you can call the computer science department, talk to Dr. Farrell or myself. I've helped many people over the social behavioral science and humanities office. Got this suspicious email and said, what should I do? I said, delete it.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So ask if you're not sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I know my dad and my uncle, they're really big into computers, and I hear a lot about the Internet of Things. What is that like? What is that exactly?
That's a little bit of everything. Your smartphone, your refrigerator, your TVs, your light bulbs, your Hue lights, and your Alexas, and all these portable devices.
Even Barbie now.
And Barbie dolls, all the toys.
Yeah.
All connected to the internet. They're hard to upgrade, so if there's a security problem in them, they're probably there forever. And I have yet to figure out why anybody need to have an internet-connected light bulb changed the coloring of it.
Yeah.
But you'll see these things, the IoT is a buzzword that you see all the time out there. And there are some things that are detrimental that can happen. I mentioned Barbie, and there was an incident where someone had actually hacked into a Barbie in a subdivision and told, Barbie told the young lady, small young lady, to open the front door. And unfortunately, she listened to her Barbie, and they were burglarized that day. So any of those things can happen. And in the cybersecurity field, we're always, wanting to put professionals out there that can help with things of ethics natures just like that.
And the camera on your laptop, if you're not using it, cover it.
Yeah.
There's been a school system up in Pennsylvania a few years ago, hacked into the laptops, watching the kids and their family in their house, but them not knowing about it. They was in the bedroom and they were in the living room. And so that was, if you're not using it, cover your camera with something. Put a piece of tape over it. Or they make devices you can put on your laptop and slide back and forth with when you need your camera.
Oh yeah.
So another buzzword you might hear would be BYOD. The computer science and cyber defense people refer to as bring your own disaster, but it's actually bring your own device, your smartphones into the network, into the company network. And that's a big issue now as part of IoT stuff. Is it's okay, I'll bring my phone into a network or my laptop, and what's only going to potentially infect my inside network.
Yeah. Is that like a big thing with like whenever you go out into public and you join like a public Wi-Fi? Is that like a huge risk?
It is if you're going to do a lot of shopping or banking. If you're just surfing the internet, it's not a big deal. I wouldn't check mail unless you know for sure where to, because I can set up a fake access point and make it look like you're McDonald's or Burger King or wherever you're at, set a fake access point up, capture your username, passwords all come across, and all your everything you're doing, and capture it. It's illegal, but it's done.
These little devices can be very small. People can sit them right
Right.
beside of their lap, and they look like, I mean, I saw one that looked like a pineapple, just a tiny little one, like something that had been 3D printed. But with that tiny device, you can pick up all the login information, if you're sitting in an airport, of everybody around you. And then if those people happen to be shopping and putting their credit cards out there, you can capture that information. So
Hopefully they're on a secure site, so all you get is
Hopefully.
gibberish.
but if they're not, it's just like putting your credit card out on a
Just
table
leave it
in
on
a
the table
food court and leaving
and
it.
walk off and leave it, and well, okay, thank you. I'd now go shopping.
It's crazy.
It is.
Do you guys, what's like your opinion on the recent Facebook data scandal on that kind of thing?
A lot of people should have seen that coming, because Facebook is not private anyway. Because you put your personal information out there, everybody's going to look at it, see it anyway. Even some of the privacy settings. Okay, I got mine set real secure, but I friend you. Well, what's your settings like?
Yeah.
So then they're going to see. Okay, I don't want everybody to see this, but I shared it with you, and your settings are set low. And then now they're seeing. Well, I don't want everybody to see.
Anytime you're on social media, you should make the assumption that everything you place out there is going to be shared with everybody else.
There's nothing private on social media.
Excuse me.
There's been a lot of talk lately about cryptocurrency. Are you guys like big into that thing? And is cyber attacks a big problem in that
The
field?
one I'm familiar with is the crypto coins, or Bitcoin rather. They've been used to hack servers to mine the Bitcoin, but that's about it. They're changing so much so fast, it's hard to keep up with. The latest buzzword now is blockchain. That's all I know, just the buzzword is blockchain. I don't have any clue what it is, because I've been asked about it. Since I'm still in the process of researching that, so it's hard to keep up with it. It happens so fast.
Yeah, everything just in technology is crazy. If you're not watching, something will pop up before your eyes and you'll completely miss it. You know, trends they're crazy.
If you don't like to learn, don't get into computer science, because you're learning all the time. It changes every day.
Is it easier to prevent a cyber breach, on your personal information, at like a bigger level, like a company, or like at a personal level?
I probably easier on a personal level, because you're not having that much of a data transfer. Companies where they store it, like Amazon or eBay or Target, Walmart, Best Buy, where they shop online, all that information is stored somewhere. So the hacker is going after that big data. They don't care about one credit card or two credit cards that we may have personally. They want that big data so they can, go out and spend that money before they get caught.
In other ways you can protect against that, back on the networking and the device side, we show students in CCNA 1 how to look at routers, for example, and see if the passwords have been encrypted. Because of course we want to encourage that anytime you set up a networking device, you have an encrypted password on it. So if you have a hacker who's trying to get on that device, either they'll be challenged or they won't be able to get on at all and then go on to the servers in the company or the school or wherever you may be.
And for the home environment, if you set up your wireless access point network router, change the default passwords. Because everybody knows what the default passwords are. For links, it's 192.168.1.1 admin. I'm in. You change the password at least, as a bare minimum. You may want to change that username too, but don't use the defaults.
And when your ISP or your internet service provider brings that modem to you and they give you a wireless router as well, you need to go ahead and change that information so that all your neighbors or you have people who do drive-bys can't get on your wireless network.
Is business cybersecurity more of like a software thing or a hardware thing, or is it like a mix of both?
It's a little bit of both. You got your firewalls, your routers, and your intrusion detection systems. Yeah, they all run software, but they're on a machine too, so it's a little bit of both. You got to configure the routers and switches and your firewalls correctly through software, but there's still on a separate, a lot of times on a separate box.
So you can throw another curriculum we have, programming, into this. We teach Python now. I was at a Cisco workshop just recently where we learned how to do APIs, which are application programmable interfaces. An example of this is like if you're doing online banking and you're going to go log onto your banking account to pay the electric company, you'll have an API in place so that the bank can talk to the credit card company and make that transfer to you. So along with the cyber piece of this, you still have the networking part with the devices, and now you have a little bit of programming thrown in there. And so we're doing Python now in our curriculum for programming.
What's called secure programming is important because your programs are easily broken into. Well, no matter what kind of firewalls or hardware I got set up, you can bypass it just through the software.
That's another word that I hear a lot is firewall. What exactly is that?
What it sounds like, it stops traffic at the wall. Usually at the embarkation, which is where the internet comes into your business at. There's a demarcation there. The external is everything outside the building. Internal is, of course, internal. So we put the firewall right there. So we try to block all that traffic we don't want coming in.
You can think of it like a medieval city. You know, they have the big block structured walls with the guards standing out
the
front. Yep, and the moat and the drawbridge. In order for anybody to get in there, they have to come up and say, you know, I belong here. And so if you have a data packet coming in, there are checks for that. Then maybe the drawbridge will be lowered and you'll get to go in through the big wall and get into the city. Firewalls work almost the same way. You've got a lot of pieces that you have to get through, or places that you have to say, hey, I'm a valuable piece of data, or I may be a malicious piece of data. Your firewall will be able to identify that, hopefully in most cases.
And so, the firewall is not foolproof, so you got other devices in the back of your intrusion detection system. The firewall let it in, well, it may be a malicious packet still, because the firewall, depending on what firewall you have, it may say, okay, it's port 80 traffic, which port 80 is regular web traffic, but it looks at the intrusion detection, goes off and says, hey, there's something wrong with this packet here. So it's got some extra data in it. So the intrusion detection system may stop it, because the firewalls don't stop everything, or intrusion detection system doesn't stop everything. So we try to use with net security in layers.
So on a personal level, you want to take care that you're not being too trustworthy, but you are keeping those things up to date. So you want to keep your malware, for example, up to date. Make sure your firewall is turned on and configured.
Not malware.
What did I say? Malware preventer.
You just said malware up to date. No, you don't want to keep your malware up to date unless you're the hacker. You want to keep your malware detection system up to date.
Well, thank you, Allan.
Other than changing the password on your router, like what are some other ways that you can prevent yourself?
That's the first one. I would use what's called WPA2 for encryption, where you have to put a passphrase in to connect to the wireless initially. Once you enter it initially, you won't have to re-enter it again unless you change devices. And that will keep other people off, because you got to enter a password to get onto the wireless. There's 3 of them. WEP, WEP, it's been cracked several times. WPA, it's been cracked. Wireless Protection Access, and WPA2, Wireless Protection Access version 2, has not been cracked. And it looks like it's fairly secure. It's using huge encryption algorithms so to protect the data.
Do either of you guys use any antivirus services on your computers?
If you don't, you're crazy.
Oh yeah.
I like this. For the Windows world, Microsoft world, the Microsoft security tools that comes with Windows works great. I haven't had one come in. I use a malware program to check for malware too. And unfortunately, some stuff I use for cyber defense, the malware detector goes off, so I got to turn it off.
Maybe we should talk a little bit about what malware is. Maybe there are some folks that wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
Malware is just essentially software you don't want, and it comes down unbeknown to you. And a lot of it, unfortunately, does bad things.
And it comes from when you're surfing the internet, for example, and you're out on different sites. It can be downloaded to your machine.
And you can come down through the internet, you can do it through email links. So there's all kinds of ways for it to come in. You plug in a USB drive from your location. So if you find a USB drive in the parking lot, don't plug it into your computer.
Plug it into someone else's. No, I'm kidding.
If you're going to need to plug it in, put it on a computer that's not connected to your network so you can check, see what's on it. Because that's a classic entry into for cyber.
So once again, don't be trusting.
Do you guys think Northeast State Community College is pretty safe in the cybersecurity?
I think so. We try to do good education through the department, and Mr. Nichols, who's our security person here, like networking manager, does a pretty good job. When he sees the suspicious email comes in, he either blocks it or sends an email that says, don't click on it. So the malware, we got some pretty good rules there. I haven't seen any malware come in, except for tools I'd try to download.
Yeah. I own a lot of Apple products. I have, my phone, an iPad, a Mac at home. How reliable is the general statement that iOS is virus free, that you can't get them on there?
It's not. It's just not as big of a target. If you want to get your 5 minutes of fame for getting into a network, you're going to attack a Windows network, but that's 85–90% of the market share.
Most large companies are using the Windows environment as opposed to the Apple.
So they're all equally insecure. We don't say that one's more secure than the other. They're all equally insecure. Just matter of the target market value. Like this, 10% of the world uses Apple, 90% uses Windows. Well, I'm on my 10 minutes of fame, I'm going to attack a Windows box.
So how likely would I be, just a normal, regular old Joe, to get a cyber attack or a breach on my personal information?
Very likely.
Have you heard of ransomware?
I haven't. What is that?
So ransomware, you'll have someone who will attack your personal device, you as an individual, and they will take hold of all the information that's on your computer.
And you normally encrypt it.
Documents, photos, whatever you may have, and then they'll contact you and say, I'll give it back to you, you can access it again, but you're going to have to pay me a certain amount. Yeah. This is happening a lot now.
Okay.
The breach in Atlanta, everybody probably heard about. From what I've seen from some of my sources, that's how somebody clicked on the email and got some ransomware in. It wasn't an attack, somebody clicked on the email link, looked legit, and ransomware came in, got installed, and went through the network and encrypted everything.
So what can you do?
Well,
oh, sorry.
I'm sorry about that. We're just running out of time. I would like to thank you guys a lot for being here, and we'll go to a commercial right here, and we'll be right back.
Going to college was a big decision, but when I graduate from Northeast State, I know I can have a career.
Over half of our employees are graduates of Northeast State Community College.
When we see Northeast State on an application, we always give that candidate a second look.
Our company partners with Northeast State, knowing that their students graduate as trained professionals that become our employees both today and into the future.
Discover the career opportunities that await you. Northeast State Community College.
That concludes the program for today. We have talked with our guests, Dr. Donna Farrell and Mr. Allan Anderson, and we have examined cybersecurity in the millennium age. Community is very important to the students at Northeast State Community College, and this program takes a look at a few of the subjects that they find important. Until we meet next time, on behalf of the students, staff, and faculty at Northeast State Community College, I'm Kacy Craddock, and this is Direction Northeast.